Robinson, joined by handyman Jake Gray. We have Dustin Flash Waller coming to the ring, wrestling A-Game Joseph Alexander. This is going to be a good one.
Very, very excited for this one.
From New York, weighing in at 205 pounds, he is the Pretty Boy Shooter, A-Game Joseph Alexander.
A-Game returning to Wrestling Open last week, beating Rayne Conway in a very competitive matchup. But him and Dustin, there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of online. It seems like there's some unfinished business from when A-Game was here previously. So this is going to be an athletic contest, but there's definitely going to be some, some hatred here as well.
Yeah, a little bit of personal interest for both men, a little bit of, like a little bit of tension between these two guys, and we're definitely going to see it explode here tonight. And I'll be honest, I think I got my money on A-Game.
All right, well, either way, this is going to be, I think the kids call it a banger, but this is a man coming to the ring right now who has been on Wednesday, on Mondays, on Thursdays, and he's been very successful.
And his opponent, from Maryland, Connecticut, weighing in at 185 pounds, he is one half of the Miracle Generation, the Speed Sensation, Dustin Flash Waller.
This past Monday, Flash defeating Bobby Orlando in the Wrestling Open Championship Tournament. Granted, he had some help from Max Caster, but either way, he beat a former Wrestling Open champion, and he moves on to the next round.
He's going to be in the next round versus Corey Duke, who of course did get a bye in the tournament. We will see that this Monday, but right now, we're going to see Joseph Alexander versus the Speed Sensation, Dustin Flash Waller.
And you can see they getting into each other's face right away.
Tensions at an all-time high between these two guys. Very curious to see who's going to throw the first move, throw the first strike possibly.
And Flash and Kylon, that was a heck of a match last Thursday, just coming up just short in that championship tag team match against Bacon and Love Doug. So now Dustin's been able to shift gears. He's been shifting in between the Miracle Generation tags and his singles career, so strong lockup just to start.
A-Game, though, immediately getting down. We're going to take down that leg. Oh, grabbing the hair is Dustin, though. And that's the thing about Dustin. He's willing to get dirty. He's willing to get a little, out of the box, out of, what is allowed to get the job done.
A-Game right away going to a submission, tying up the left arm of Flash. Oh, and look at, he hooks his arm underneath. That's a, Flash barely got out of that.
A-Game, in my opinion, is probably one of the most underrated in terms of grappling guys on the indie scene right now. I think a lot of people should look at A-Game Joseph Alexander when it comes to grappling expertise.
Yeah, A-Game definitely can throw hands, that's for sure. But the grappling as well. And I thought he was going to grab the hair, but he didn't.
Oh, and he's also very strong, but look at that. Dustin with that speed, with the agility. Look, these two guys very, very close right now.
Yeah, he's the Speed Sensation for a reason. Oh, but not fast enough to avoid that trip by A-Game.
Yeah, didn't see that coming. A-Game saw that coming, ducks the line. Another big tackle.
And another big tackle. You see Dustin grabbing the back of his head. A lot of velocity on that shoulder tackle. Fantastic. Traps the arm on a leapfrog attempt. And now captures the leg. Great move there, and I think it's pretty obvious in the opening minutes here that A-Game, he had a plan coming into this match.
A-Game knows what he's doing. He has the advantage right now. Dustin having to get to the ropes. Referee Bill stepping in the way. You can see he's grabbing at his knee, pulling down the knee pad. Ooh.
Trying to outsmart A-Game.
I got to agree with this Worcester crowd. I do think Dustin Waller made a mistake right there, and A-Game's going to make him pay.
Stomping him out in the corner. And this, like I said, Dustin's been, Mondays, Thursdays, he's really been getting his name out there. I would honestly put them, at the same level, because A-Game, remember, before he relocated to the South, he was basically in contention with the Wrestling Open Championship as he takes a huge kick there, and Dustin now has him on his shoulders. So this really, I would call this a 50-50. I would call this just a really even matchup. So, very interested to see who eventually comes out on top.
Very even matchup. You got to say that big neck break right there from Dustin changes the tides. Here's a cover. Oh,
I was going to say they're going to start trading pins, but now Dustin.
Dustin knew that wasn't going to work and immediately switches to taking the control back, slowing things down, putting in his wheelhouse right now.
You can see he's shaking out the legs, grabbing the hair of A-Game.
And you see right there, A-Game very smartly continuing the assault on that leg, making sure Dustin cannot walk. And
really?
if you take out Dustin's legs, he can't be the speed sensation. He can't use that speed. He can't use the agility that he is so known for. But he still also knows how to throw strikes like that, and that's going to shut A-Game down.
I think Dustin's intelligent enough that he can shift his focus mid-gear, but at the end of the day, if you take out a wrestler's legs, and especially someone like Flash, that really takes away a lot of his offense.
Yeah, you cripple someone in that situation from what they are possible of doing. Right now, he might be trying to cripple A-Game, trying to break that finger.
Some joint manipulation. I don't think I've seen Dustin do this. But again, like I said, he has to switch gears.
A-Game, though, he knows his way around a hold a lot better than Dustin Flash Waller does. Able to get out of it, and now he has to throw strikes. That's the type of desperation right now that Dustin is putting him on, that A-Game is having to throw strikes and mix up his game plan right now.
I've lost count of how many punches A-Game landed against Rain Conway last week.
Big leapfrog.
Oh, scoops him up for that Michinoku out of nowhere.
Not enough to put A-Game down, though. It's going to take a lot more to put Joseph A-Game Alexander down. And Dustin Flash Waller needs to realize that. And these fans, they're getting behind A-Game, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, I was going to say, like I mentioned how this is a 50-50 match, but one thing A-Game, one advantage he does have is the crowd, because Dustin, ever since him and Kylon turned on Ichiban, I mean, he is reviled in Cranston and in Worcester. So A-Game on his own, the crowd likes him, but going against Dustin, I mean, it's just amplified.
Yeah, you're turning that up, you're putting a multiplier on it. But I will say right now, Dustin, he at least didn't come out with the do-rag, so that's an obvious major positive.
Yeah, and you can see Ref Bill there checking it. Dustin's arm that's very close. You can see the crook of his arm almost on the throat. But
he's extremely close. A-Game, luckily, is able to push down pressure, not let him get that full hold, but he's getting up right now. And you got to imagine, Joseph Alexander, he's using whatever this crowd's giving to him to continue this fight, to continue to try to get out of that hold. He was able to do it there. Again, that leg of Dustin, it's giving him some issues.
yeah, he actually, he struck the knee when A-Game was on his knee. Wow. And I'm sure that hurt A-Game, but that definitely hurt Dustin too.
Yeah, in a moment like that, Dustin went to what he needed to do in the moment, not thinking about the results on his leg that was going to cause.
And the hesitation, Flash, he normally...
He hops up there it's legitimate, like a blur of speed, a blur of motion, and he took his time right there going for a moonsault. Ooh.
Oh, and that was probably worse than actually missing it, landing on his stomach. And A-Game taking full advantage, twisting Blue Thunderbomb of sorts.
Yeah, and A-Game's got to use that opening that he just gave himself with that giant Blue Thunderbomb. These fans are giving him the energy. These fans are giving him the motivation. He needs to capitalize it. He needs to prove why he is the A-Game.
Diving in now with that forearm strike. Flying knee.
Double. Just so perfectly executed A-Game offense right there. And Dustin is reeling.
Oh, rebound clothesline. Almost knocked his head off.
That could be it, Scott.
And immediately, you can. That's how much the leg is hurting right now, because he took a huge clothesline, kicks out. The first thing he does is grab the knee.
Yeah, Dustin, I think that moonsault where he landed on his feet, something that he does signaturally, his very well-known agility, I think that did a lot of damage right there. And A-Game is like a hunter. He knows where the weakness is on his prey, and he's going to take it out.
Has him in his sights. Oh, I think he was going for that Bisaiku knee. He's finished countless matches with that.
Helped him go super far in the Discovery Gauntlet with that Bisaiku knee. Did Joseph Alexander almost a year ago now.
Just grabbing. That's what I was saying, the animosity between the two. Hangs him out to dry. And Flash, he's had these matches. They haven't been quick. That's one thing I will say is, again, Yeah, this leg, I was going to say this match could go long, but I'm not sure. You know, he had the match last week, the tag match. He had the match against Bacon a few weeks ago that went, you know, close to 30 minutes. But now taking out A-Game, and A-Game, I think he's grabbing his leg.
A little bit. Dustin hoping to use whatever leg strength he has. Big springboard clothesline. And you can see right there, not even hooking A-Game's leg, grabbing his own leg in the pin, just throwing himself on top of there. Dustin Waller's worried about that leg. He's not worried about, yes, he's worried about obviously beating Joseph Alexander, but he's forgetting, he's making mistakes, not hooking the leg, not putting all the pressure on there, because he needs to make sure that that leg is permanently injured possibly.
Yeah, he hit that springboard perfectly, but just could not capitalize. And now he's going for the handspring? Like I said, like, a lot of his offense is dependent on that leg.
Oh, and looks like Dustin's about to return the favor.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's good for the goose? Because now, if both men have injured legs, I mean, this is going to slow down considerably.
Joseph Alexander, injured leg, cannot throw that psycho knee right into Dustin Waller. It looks like Dustin trying to give him a taste of his own medicine right now. Oh.
But he's using his own leg. This could be one of those matches that just kind of devolves and breaks down into a brawl.
Single leg Boston Crab. But here's the thing with the Boston Crab, you need to be able to get your own leverage on it with your legs. And Dustin right now with his hurt leg cannot get that leverage to really do a fully effective Boston Crab, but he's still getting enough torque there to cause a lot of pain for Joseph Alexander.
A-Game crawling. Almost grabbed the ropes, but Dustin managed.
Ooh, small package.
Package. 2.
A-Game scoops him right up. Oh, go to sleep.
But on the knee.
On that injured knee, falls right into the
2.
pin.
No, and those couple of seconds, if he was able to pin right away, this match would have been over, but smart by Dustin to, you know, attack his opponent's leg when his own leg is now hurt. And we're 10 minutes deep.
These guys have a 20-minute time limit, 10 more minutes, but with the way these two guys are moving on these injured legs, they're going to be moving a lot slower than they were in the beginning, opening minutes of this match.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ice in these two gentlemen's futures, but for the present, both men trying to get back to their feet anyway.
A-Game the first one able to get up. Dustin, oh! A-Game just shrugging it off, big forearm right there.
And in a striking contest, you know, I'm sure Dustin, you know, he likes to throw his strikes from time to time, but against A-Game, you know, I'll take A-Game 10 times out of 10.
A-Game has a lot more boxing experience. You can see it on display, how much more effective his strikes are against Dustin Flash Waller right now.
And then a hard chop.
You can see why these two guys are the top of the top when it comes to Wrestling Open, especially on Thursdays. These two guys know what it means to bring 120%, 130%. And A-Game right now, big boot with that injured knee though.
Oh. Both had the same idea. And both go after each other's legs. This is one of the most even matches I think I've seen in quite some time. No. And Dustin's just, I think he's shocked as you and I. That Spanish Fly, I mean, he's even with that hurt, like he snapped that off so quickly. And you can see Ref Bill, I mean, he's one of the best in the business. He's making sure that these two fighters can continue, because as I'm sure you know, adrenaline's a hell of a drug, but that can only take you so far if you have, yeah.
Dustin was looking maybe the handspring and stopped himself, realizing like, hey, I can't do that right now in the state I am, instead opting for that big body slam.
Yeah, but now he's going back to the top. And look, he can't even, yeah, he really needs that. Again, Ref Bill, I mean.
Dustin has a lot of emotions going through his head right now, and it's very difficult to figure out exactly what Dustin is going to need to do right now. That's a very smart decision, but there's A-Game.
Yeah, these two men so prideful. I don't think they would give up if they wanted.
Superplex.
And he hangs on. A-Game delivering more damage. Fisherman Buster. Leg hooked. 2. Oh. 2.9 by A-Game.
A-Game right to his feet immediately after, though, trying to use that powerbomb. Oh, Dustin landed rough right on his leg. Go through. Both men reversal.
Look at this exchange. And he hits the powerbomb, stacks him. 2 again. Dustin Flash Waller, say what you want about the guy. Say what you want about his attitude.
A-Game's in perfect position for that boost cycle knee. He just needs to nail it against Dustin.
Ooh, his leg gave out. Oh, there's that handspring cutter. Dustin somehow, some way, manages to hit it. And now, oh, the 1916 planting A-Game, Dustin Flash Waller.
The time for 14 minutes, 15 seconds. Your winner, Dustin Waller.
Wow, that's our opening contest, Handyman.
Dustin Flash Waller able to pick up a big win against Joseph Alexander. But at what cost, we don't know. His leg is hurt, but looks like we're going to hear from the Speed Sensation, even though I really, really do not want to.
Which one is it? Turn this one on. I don't care what's awesome. I don't know what's holy what. I don't care how good matches are. I care about one thing. Winning. Corey Duke, Mr. Bang Bang, Mr. Saturday Night. Guess what? In a few days, it's Monday. That's my night. And you're going to find out that you are not meant to be Wrestling Open Champion. You're not even close to be deserving to be in the goddamn tournament. They're all gonna watch. They're all gonna listen. They're gonna voice their opinion. But my opinion just happens to be the fact. And the fact of the matter is, Dustin Flash Waller, in no matter of time, will be all of your new Wrestling Open Champion.
Handyman, I think we might have a new favorite in this tournament.
Dustin is arguably one of the people that everyone's going to keep their eye on in this tournament, but I will say, if he's going into Monday with that injured leg, he's going to be in a rough position against Corey Duke.
So that's going to be coming up on Monday. Fans, let's take a look at one of the top stars in the women's division, Livia.